Hi everyone, my name is Joe Swanson and I'm a co-founder and lead software engineer here at DataForge. I'm extremely excited to announce that we've added stream processing to DataForge. With this, users can read from Kafka topics and streaming delta tables, enrich their data in DataForge, and push their data downstream to streaming delta tables and Kafka topics. With this, users can start to build out their DataForge warehouse with slow and fast data and really integrate with everything that Spark Structured Streaming has to offer. With this, I'm going to show a quick demo that highlights just a small use case of bringing in streaming data into the DataForge platform and enriching it with some data that's at rest in the DataForge platform. So in this demo, we're going to use the Confluent Apache Kafka Cloud platform for our topics that we're going to be reading data from and topics we're going to be writing data to. So we're going to be pulling from an orders topic into DataForge, into an orders stream source. And we're going to enrich that data with an items data set that's already been previously loaded into DataForge as a batch source. We're going to connect that items data to enrich the order stream, and then we're going to write those enriched stream records back to Confluent into a separate topic that downstream users can consume and get more information about their orders, specifically the item cost and the item type. So we have our data gen orders topic here in Confluent. Each message coming through this topic contains information about the order. You can see over here in the right side, order time, order ID, item ID. So what we really care about is this item ID, as this will allow us to connect to our batch source that we have loaded into DataForge. So we'll go ahead and start this stream. Confluent has a really nice kind of sample data stream generator that we like to use. So we'll just go ahead and kick off that stream in here. And then next we'll head into DataForge to start pulling these stream records into the platform. So if we enter the DataForge platform, we can see we have our item data source already loaded. If I click into it, you can see that we've pulled a batch set of data. This data is sitting at rest, and we pulled 1,000 records relating to the item data. If we want to explore the data further, we can actually link to the Databricks UI and check out the data in the Catalog Explorer. So we have a view set up called item data, which is just on top of our hub layer where the data is stored and processed. So if we look at the sample data here, you can see that we see our item cost and our item type. These are the fields that we want to enrich the order streaming data with. We also see that the item ID is saved here as just a integer value. We know from looking at our data gen orders messages that the item ID here actually has item prepended in the front. So to make a clean join between these two columns to relate these two data sources together, we're just going to add a small business rule using the rules engine in DataForge to just concatenate the item ID column with item underscore in front of it. And we're going to save this as a unique value because we know this is the key on the source, and it'll just make it easier to relate the two sources together on that unique key. So we know that there's one item ID on this source for every many different items potentially in the order source. So we'll set that up here, and then we'll bring in the streaming data from the data gen orders topic. So we'll go over to our sources here, and let's make a new source. We're going to call it orders. Give it a description for our demo. We're going to choose our stream processing type. This is event data. We already have our Kafka connection set up. So what's nice in DataForge, you can reuse your connections. So we don't have to enter in the sensitive information every time, but this is just the Confluent connection credentials. Our topic is data gen orders. And we're going to add in a couple more parameters just to cleanly pull this data, as this does have a schema registry attached. We'll go ahead and we will save this. And we'll go ahead and start the stream. So once we initiate this pull, DataForge will launch a cluster in Databricks, a job cluster, and it will start computing and pulling the stream data. So the stream is now running. You can see that we have a record count of records pulled in. Our status will just stay in progress. The stream will just stay alive until we decide to stop it. Any new records will just be added to the count and to the hub table. And we can actually go and link to this table in the Databricks console as well. And we can see the sample data coming in. because this is just stored as a Delta Lake table with streaming data being added to it as records come in the Spark structured stream. So in here now, we see we have that item ID column, and we want to make a relation back to our item batch source to start pulling in some information about these items. So we can go back to here and go back to DataForge, and we'll go to our Relations tab, and let's make a new relation. So we'll call this orders to items. So the source we're currently looking at is orders. We're going to relate to item data, and we'll basically fill out a simple join condition here, which is our item ID on this source equals the item key that we've set up, which is the concatenated column that we set up earlier with our rule. So we'll save that. DataForge will detect that it's a one-to-many relation, and with that, we can begin creating rules on this order source to start bringing in fields from the item data source that we're interested in. So we're going to build a rule on the order source that's going to use our relation to pull in a couple fields from the item data source. So if we go back to our diagram here, we can see that we're connected with the one-to-many relations to the item source. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a struct object that we're going to convert to JSON and write to for our downstream topic. We're going to just pull in item cost and item type, and we're just going to put order IDs on that as well too. So what we'll do is we'll go into our source, and we'll add a rule. We're going to call it orders items costs, and we're going to create a struct in DataForge, and we're going to use the source container that we're currently working on for this order stream to grab the order ID field. And then we are going to also add from our related item data source, we're going to grab the item cost field and the item type. So these columns are all now just being pulled through the relation that we've set up using that one-to-many join. And so with this, we'll save this rule. So our rule is saved here. Now we'll navigate over to our output, and we'll start setting up our event output. So we're just going to call this orders items costs. And we're going to pick the event output type. We're going to pick our Kafka output. And we have our topic set up over here in Confluent. So our topic is just called orders items costs demo. I'll copy the name of that. And we're going to make sure that we're just going to encode the value as JSON. There's no schema registry for this topic. It's a very just simple topic setup. So we'll add our source mapping. So we'll add our order source. And now we can see that we've auto-mapped our key and value. So right now, DataForge would be writing the key from the order stream and the value straight from the order stream. We actually don't want that value written, so we're going to change our mapping to the new struct rule that we created with the item ID, with the item type enriched data. So what I'll do is I'm going to clear this mapping out. I'm going to clear the struct schema, and we are going to see what we have as attributes on the order stream source. You can see here's this order items costs struct I created. We'll save that. And now all we have to do is go all the way back to the order source, and we are going to stop the stream. And then we'll just restart it. And when we restart the stream, all of our new configurations will be applied, and we should see data being written to the output topic. So we've started another stream process. As you can see here now, we have two job clusters launching. So we have our stream cluster and our output cluster launching. And so what this will accomplish then, if we go back to our demo, or our Miro, is we have a job cluster working on the left side of this, bringing in the raw stream records, enriching them with the items data, and then writing them to our DataForge hub table location. and then a job cluster reading from that hub table location, enriching, grabbing those stream records and writing them to the Confluent topic downstream. So we'll go back here, we'll go back to DataForge, and once these clusters launch, we'll see both of these jobs running, and we'll start to see some data populate in Confluent Cloud. So we now have both of our streams running, both the stream and the output process are going, and now we can go over to Confluent Cloud and look at our order items cost demo topic, and we see that data is arriving, and that it has its order ID, its item cost, and its item type. So now downstream consumers can read this topic and get information about the cost of the items and the type that are associated with the orders. So there you go. In this demo, we've shown the new capabilities of DataForge to integrate streaming data processing into the platform and connect to batch data sources that are already loaded in the platform to help enrich the data. So we're really excited to release this feature and excited for everyone to check it out. Thanks. Bye.